Welcome everyone to tonight's presentation. We're really excited for what we are going to be sharing tonight, streamlining dental insurance billing tools and tips for practice success. My name is Shirley and I'm going to be your moderator tonight. And we are joined this evening by Cori Anne Favro, who brings over a decade of dental industry experience and currently leads product development for eAssist's insurance verification and patient billing services. Before we get started, we have a few housekeeping suggestions. If you have a question, we'd love to answer it, and we invite you to please type it into the Q&A box at the bottom of our screens, and we will answer your questions at the end of the webinar. CE is not available for our webinar this evening. And lastly, if you registered for tonight's presentation, you will be getting a link to the recording sometime in the coming week. In the meantime, welcome Cori Anne, and thank you for being with us. I'm going to pass it over to you now.
All right, thank you so much, Shirley. So we will get started tonight. Let's get going. Let me change. So we're exciting information here. So I am Cori Anne Favro from eAssist. Thank you for the warm welcome. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about eAssist. So over a decade ago, eAssist kind of invented optimization of revenue cycle management and front office services for dentists remotely for dentists all across the country. So we've been putting money back in the pockets of the nation's dedicated dentists, reducing the stress for their teams and creating more reliable cash flow. So our platform right now is made up of dental billing specialists serving over 2,500 clients. I actually think we're at near 2,700 right now. So single practice owners and DSOs. So we've collected more than $18 billion from insurance companies in this time that we've been in business. And we've also earned some awards over the 10 years that we've been in business as well. Really excited to be a part of a lot of these. Just recently this year, we got the Inc. 5000 again. We had a military spouse employment partnership, Great Places to Work certified. So we're really proud of our teams and all that we've accomplished over the past 10 years plus. So what does eAssist Dental Solutions offer? If you have not heard about us, we have a range of products supporting dental offices all over the country. So we have dental insurance billing and aging, patient portion, so statements and billing, insurance verification and eligibility. We also have a dental accounting section where we do accounting and bookkeeping for your dental practice, EFT and deposit reconciliation, and we have a trusted partner full schedule that helps with patient recall and retention. All right, so what we hope you're going to learn today from my webinar here is that there's 3 kind of key learning objectives. To understand the steps and best practices for dental insurance verification, which is one of my specialties with eAssist. Knowledge of CDT coding, how to use them correctly and how to make the most out of the coding that you're doing. And then discover effective techniques for managing denied or underpaid insurance claims. So kind of 3 big topic items for offices doing dental insurance billing. So 77% of Americans have dental benefits. This came from National Association of Dental Plans, which I was actually just recently at their conference, a very good conference. So it's important we know how to utilize our patients' insurance benefits to get the most out of it for the patient, to be able to provide them with the best care, and also to keep the office profitable and running smoothly. Insurance verification is basically the foundation of the whole RCM cycle for dental offices. It's probably one of the most important things that you can do for your patients with insurance. And it has long-lasting effects if you do it right. So what you need to do to make sure you're doing the verification process correctly is prepare. So you need to gather all the patient and subscriber information from your patients. A lot of dental offices are now using outreach programs to get this information from them before they even come in, or if it even is just your front desk, making sure they gather that information when that patient makes their appointment. It's important that you have a place to document all of this information that you will need and know the very important pieces that you need to have. Patient name is spelled correctly, date of birth is accurate, and address is up to date. So the patient name is spelled correctly sounds like a really simple process, right? But it's actually very important because there's some say my name was Kimberly, but I said my name was Kim when I made my appointment. You put Kim in the family file. When you go to submit that claim to insurance, it may get kicked back saying this is not a match, not the patient's name. Spelling of names is very important. It has to match how it's spelled. And this is how the patient signs up with the insurance company as well. So their name may be Kimberly, but they signed up with the insurance as Kim. So we need to have those match. So they need to match what they signed up with the insurance. Date of birth is accurate. We want to make sure that everything is looking like a match, compare it to their license. And their address is up to date. Zip code of the patient, all of that is very important, especially to companies like MetLife. They want to have a match in their system that the patient address matches what you have as well. If you can get a copy of the insurance card when the patient comes in, that is wonderful for your teams to be able to look back at. If you had a problem with the insurance, you would be able to look back as well. Maybe they told you they had Delta Dental of Wisconsin, but they have Delta Dental of Missouri, which you would be able to see on their card. But this is something, unfortunately, that you can't rely on the patient, one, having a copy of their dental insurance card with them, and then some insurance companies just don't give insurance cards either. But if they do have it and you can make it a part of your kind of your welcome new patient paperwork process for your front desk, it's a great thing to get everyone in the habit of doing. Don't expect patients to know their coverage and details. They often don't. Dental insurance is confusing, even for us that have been in the business over 10 years. Things change all the time. Some plans are very tricky. So they don't know what they have, how much they have a year, what their deductible is. And even if they do give you information, it might not be accurate. So don't bank on the information that they give you. Be ready to do a thorough check. And double check if the patient has dual coverage. This is important as well. So we'll be ready to submit those secondary claims, making sure the coordination of benefits is lined up correctly, and we'll have a smooth claim submission process. So there's a lot of details to verify. And like I said, the dental insurance verification process is the foundation of a successful process. It also very much hinges on the happiness of your patients with all of their treatment and things that you do. Because if you give accurate treatment planning, co-payments, all of that, they will be much happier than if you get a lot of this information wrong and tell them that they only owe $50 and they end up owing $500. So it's important we get this kind of nailed down. So you're going to want to confirm the effective dates of the plan, especially when dual coverage applies. You want to verify coverage details, deductibles, annual max, what procedures are covered, what are not, percentages, and the amount of treatment covered. And also confirm frequency limits, alternate benefits, downgrades, age limit, any clauses such as non-duplication and missing tooth. There's also very specifics about certain coding that you will want to look up. Say you do sedation, you want to make sure that you're asking all the right questions about the sedation coverage. for your patients, because every plan differs. Sometimes there is certain procedure codes that must be completed at the same time as sedation for it to be covered, or there also might be number of teeth extracted, all sorts of things like that. So you really want to make sure that you're also verifying benefits that you will be doing on the patient. Don't verify codes that you won't ever use. Also making sure that you are utilizing all the codes that you should be using and seeing if they're covered on a verification as well. That's an important piece I feel like a lot of offices sometimes miss, is that they will they'll verify a bunch of coding and things that they don't actually even do. So if you don't do ortho in your office and you're not planning on doing ortho, you don't need to verify the ortho coverage, but you should make sure that you are checking the details that pertain to your patients. Additional details that you might want to gather as well to have a successful verification. Some carriers do require treatment to be pre-authorized. We see that a lot of time with Medicaid, but also certain procedures must be pre-auth to be covered. Medical insurance should also be verified, especially when oral surgery is completed. You can ask when you do your verification, should any of these codes be sent to medical prior to dental insurance? They may give you a list, they may say yes, they may say no. Lack of verification leads to insurance denials, which contributes to high accounts receivables balance. We don't want to do a full treatment case on a patient and then find out that their insurance is actually not active, or it was out of network and they have no out of network benefits. So it's very important that we do kind of give a thorough verification for our patients so they have no surprises, and then they're happy with their provider and with their dental office, because they don't feel like it was like a bait and switch or something like that. So they're comfortable knowing my insurance was verified, all the details are here. They gave me an estimated out of pocket, and that word estimated is very important. Making sure that when you do a verification that you are letting the patient know this is what we're estimating your insurance to pay. It may be more, it may be less. And then, like I said, lack of insurance verification can increase patient balance, dissatisfaction, and leaving practice. We don't want that to happen to anybody. So we always want to do our best to verify, do our treatment planning, and making sure that we're checking the correct coding. We're checking our out-of-network status. The other thing on insurance verification process that is very important for you as practice owners and front office staff is that you check the fee schedules as well. How is this insurance paying? What fee schedule is this paying? So then you can set that up in your practice management software correctly. So when those claims come back as paid, your posting will be on point, your treatment planner will be accurate, and you can get the details to the patient. The other thing as well is coverage tables, updating those, making sure everything matches what you get on your verification. And then your insurance profiles. This is a big thing too. Your practice management software is very smart. I work with all of them, a lot of different ones. And if you set them up correctly, they will work very well for you when you're doing insurance verification and treatment planning. So if you're updating those insurance profiles, you're making sure you're not duplicating insurance profiles for the same group number, for the same employer group. So you're utilizing that employer group insurance profile and then using it for everybody that has that same. So then that profile is staying up to date. It makes it a lot easier. It keeps your system clean, and it will help you with treatment planning and accurate verification process. So this moves us out of insurance verification and then into correct coding. So correct coding often results in higher revenue as practices obtain reimbursements that were once unpaid because of misunderstanding or misreported codes. Charles Blair. So coding details. As many of you know, the CDT codes, they change every year. Not all of them, but some of them. Some of them are discontinued. Some of them just get updated. So you want to make sure that you're kind of paying attention to what's going on with the CDT coding every year. This happens around January 1st. So about in December, I would start kind of looking for what's coming out. Practice Booster does a great job with this, and they will keep you up to date with kind of what's changing. So then you can make sure, one, you're not verifying codes that are going to be no longer active. You're not sending them out on claims anymore. And you're using the up-to-date replacement codes. You're going to want to determine best applicable codes and procedures build for your practice. Again, you're going to want to look at code utilization for your practice, making sure that you are utilizing the codes that need to be utilized. Also, be making sure that you're coding out and billing for everything that you're doing. There's a lot of times dentists will do other procedures and they don't think that it's actually a billable procedure, but it is. And a lot of times insurance does reimburse for those. So we want to make sure that you're maximizing your reimbursements. And then there's common coding errors such as D4341 and 4342. You want to make sure that you're coding out the correct based on number of tooth, depth of pocket, kind of, and then what they're wanting on these coding as well. You're going to want to know what the insurance is expecting when you send out a claim with these specific codes. Do they want perio charting? Do they probing depths? Do they need, there's all sorts of things. So every code is different. It's important that someone kind of in your office kind of takes the lead on that, understands the different codes, the changes. Also the coding, the dental claim forms, those also get updated from time to time. You're going to want to make sure that you're utilizing the correct forms going out, just to streamline your revenue cycle as much as possible. So keep in mind, incorrect coding leads to insurance denials, which then requires appeals, which time is money, right? If you have to appeal every claim that you sent out because one, it didn't go out with the right information, or you got a denial because you sent the wrong codes, you have to recode it, you have to check back with the doctor. We want to keep things as streamlined as possible for you. You want to touch a claim as little as possible and get the highest reimbursement that you can. Keep in mind that medical claims require CPT and ICD-10 codes. That's a very special knowledge base of certain individuals because the cross-coding. So you want to keep in mind, if you do dabble in the medical claims area, that you are doing the correct cross-coding with this ICD-10 codes. And avoid upcoding. So coding a procedure with more serious CDT code, as this is considered insurance fraud. So we never want to do that. We always just want to code for exactly what we do, and not overcode or yeah, this is exactly what it says. So we don't want to see anyone get in trouble. So never overcode, upcode. Always just fill out for exactly what you do. And the 24 CDT code changes will go into effect January 2025. So this year there is 24 CDT code changes that will take place on January 1st. So just a heads up on that. And the coding with confidence at Practice Booster, Dr. Charles Blair, this is the 2025 edition is now available. And these books are great. They'll help you, or website. It'll help you with anything that you need if you have questions on any specific coding questions, administration questions, insurance verification questions, all of that. So into our third segment here, 33% of dental claims go unappealed. Dental offices are busy. You get a lot of correspondence from insurance companies. You're sending out a lot of claims. Daily. So you don't want them to go out and be incorrect. You don't want to have someone spend time appealing. So like I said before, it's good to always just send them out first. This is how, like, insurance companies and things, 33% is a lot that go unappealed. So that's just a denial, went out, the office did not do anything about it to get it paid, and then it just sat there for so long that then it was unappealable. So we want to support your offices and not having this happen to you. Some of the first things that we want to look at is timely submissions. We also look at this. This is an important piece to look at in your insurance verification process. You should ask what the timely filing limit is for the insurance company that you are checking. This is important. Some are very small, 90 days, some 30 days we've even seen. So that's a quick turnaround. So you only have 30 days from the date of service to get that claim submitted and accepted by the insurance company. So sometimes even though you send it, it doesn't make it to them. They have no, you have no verification that they received it. It doesn't count as being accepted. So you want to submit claims daily to avoid this. It's so important that you do that either daily or the morning after the next day. Just to give everyone time in the office to make sure they put in their claim notes and all of that. But you want to get those out cleanly and quickly to the insurance companies. Some insurance carriers require submission for certain procedures just days after treatment. So you never want to hold claims for any reason. A few days max, but that's the max I would kind of wait on those, making sure that you're gathering all your information, but get those claims out quickly. Most insurance carriers do have filing limits, some as low as 30 days, like I said. Some of them, average timely filing is about 1 year. Some of them I have seen like up to 2 years. They did give a little bit extra grace in those years after 2020 for COVID, but I believe they're back to their regular timely filing limits. And untimely submissions drive up accounts receivables. So you have those open claims, that will drive up your accounts receivables. And then also longer payments go unpaid, the less likely the practice will be collect at all. And the problem too is you don't know how much your patient actually is going to owe until those insurance claims come back and they're posted accurately. So you won't be able to bill that patient. You don't want that patient waiting 6 months for their insurance to come back and then say, oh, your insurance came back, was denied, or you had a deductible and you owe this much. They're going to say, well, I had that treatment 6 months ago. So we want to process things as quickly as possible for our patients, just to keep them happy and the revenue coming in for the practice as well. We don't want to wait that long either. We want to keep your AR low. So clean claims, this is an important piece, and verifications tie very closely into getting a claim out clean. We want to accurately complete all the fields on the ADA claim form. Include all necessary attachments such as x-rays, narratives, perio charts, referrals, and more. Intraoral photos, all of the things. Making sure that your staff understands what specific codes require which specific attachments, which specific narratives as well. Use note templates, making sure that you don't miss anything when you need something. Such as if you do a crown, you want to make sure that you have, if it was a replacement, when was the original crown replaced, how percentage of the tooth that was gone after to do the buildup, all those different tiny details that are so important for getting your claim processed quickly. Each insurance carrier has a different rules for the same procedure. This is a fun thing that we all try to figure out what the different rules are for the same procedure for the carriers. And it's amazing. I've seen our teams do some really amazing things with understanding some of the bigger insurance carriers and knowing what they're going to need and kind of knowing the different rules for the same procedure. I would say like crowns and buildups are a big one, that each insurance company kind of has a unique rule for the same procedure as far as percentage of tooth, paid on seat date or prep date, all of those different things, along with like replacement timelines, frequencies, and things like that. So you have to kind of really be paying attention and making sure that you're always on your A game when you're sending out claims, understanding the rules for the procedures and kind of what needs to go out with those. The most common reason for claim denials include wrong or missing information, waiting periods, frequency limitations, incorrect CDT coding, and unreadable documentation. So again, super important for when you do your insurance verification. We do suggest that you always ask about waiting periods, and waiting periods not only for major, but sometimes basic as well. Is it cover this? Frequency limitations, checking the history for your patients, knowing that they're coming in for a crown and on tooth number 3, and you want to see, did they have a crown on that in the past and how long ago was that done? So just getting all your information together prior to doing the treatment. And then unreadable documentation. If you scan a actual x-ray, it probably won't turn out well. So you don't want to send that because that'll be denied. So making sure all of your things are in order, every x-rays are readable, your intraoral photos are not blurry, and just making sure everything is attached. Your narrative already, you already know what they're going to ask, so you put it on there right out of the gate. So that will process quickly and you won't have a long lag time and you won't have to spend time appealing it. Tenacious claims appeal. Insufficient documentation is a major cause for claim rejections and denials. Like I just touched on, it's usually like, I'm just going to go in. This is what happens. Office is busy. I'm at the front desk. End of the day, okay, I'm just going to go through and send these 50 claims that are in the batch processor. And probably most of them don't need anything attached. So I'm just going to send it out. 25% of those claims are going to just deny for missing information. And then you're gonna have to deal with them again on the back end, right? So it's kind of like one of those things that you do in life that if you do it right the first time, it saves you time on the back end. This is kind of how I feel about making the coffee the night before and then setting the timer. So when I wake up, I can smell the coffee and I'm good to go. But if not, I have to trudge out of bed and do it. So it's kind of one of those things. You put the effort in on the front end, you have much less work on the back end. Each insurance carrier has specific guidelines for appeals as well. This is also another tricky thing. Every insurance carrier is not the same. You cannot, some insurance companies will accept like a corrected claim on the same claim piece that you just write a note in the note section. Or some of them need a formalized letter. Now we also see some of the appeals need to be completed on a form specific to that insurance company. So really navigating and understanding how to do a proper appeal, that's an important piece as well. And sometimes insurance companies have a limit. You only have like maybe 2 shots. to do an appeal. So you want to be very careful not to waste one of your appeals, and you do it correctly. But our main goal is to never have to appeal, right? We get it out correctly and cleanly the first time, but in the case that you may have to appeal, we got to make sure we do that appeal process correctly. The billing staff may not recognize when appeal is needed or have time to focus on appeals. This is a big one. Billing offices, as we all know, are super busy. You are trying to give that patient in front of you your utmost attention and care. And the mail comes in and you see all these letters or those EFTs come in on the computer, and you're going through them and you're like, not paid. Oh, geez, I'll set that aside. I'll set that aside. And then you just never get back to it, or you get back to it later and you don't know. So it's hard. It's hard on front desk team members, office managers, practice owners, all that. So the other piece too is sometimes individual codes are denied mixed in with other codes that are paid on an EOB. So it's hard to know, like, not everyone knows that you can split out the unpaid codes and appeal just the ones that weren't paid. And that's very important too. You don't want to leave money on the table for something that probably could have just been easily paid if you split it out and sent it back with what it was missing. And then sometimes if you send the whole claim back instead of just breaking out things that weren't paid, they'll say that this paid is a duplicate, even though it's not a duplicate, because you want to get that one X-ray code reprocessed and paid. So it's important to kind of know the ins and outs, which is, it's hard for staff. EOB with denial reason is sent to patient who will know if the claim is not appealed and may lose trust in the practice. This is an important thing too to also keep in mind. Those patients are receiving the same EOB that you are getting in the office, and they'll see some of the wording. They'll see the wording and denial reasons that the insurance company is sending to them. A lot of times it says like they'll deny crown, saying, you know, treatment not necessary or something like that. So it kind of puts you in a bad place as a practice. So you want to make sure that you're appealing those and providing the documentation as to why you did the treatment and get that paid for the patient. You want to have minimal accounts receivable. So you want to regularly have someone working accounts receivable aging report to generate consistent cash flow. And this is where your teams are going to catch denied claims that may have been needing appeal but just got forgotten. So you'll see those claims open, and they can take them from there and then appeal them. And you want to have someone like regularly do this every 15 days, every 30 days. Be looking at those accounts and making notes on it, saying what they did and how, and what, like following up, because the practice needs that money, right? And we want to get it paid too for the patient, not only for the practice, but for the patient. So they don't have an unexpected bill. Adhere to an effective billing process that forces consistency. Again, this is do the hard work on the front end, have less in the back end. Also, keep on your process every 15 to 30 days, making sure that you're following up, because again, those timely filing limits, those special appealing processes, we want to make sure that we're getting to them before too much time goes by, or the patient, it gets to be 6 months out and their claim still hasn't processed, and they're wondering, okay, I guess I don't owe anything else for that because it's been 6 months. So we want to get a quick jump and keep up on it. Put priority attention on outstanding balances nearing the 90-day mark. Like everything I just said prior, 90 days, it starts to get long. And also studies show that the longer, so when a patient doesn't pay in office at time of service, and then they have treatment and it goes past 90 days, it kind of leaves our minds as humans. And so when they get a bill after the 90-day mark, it's kind of like, I don't know. That's not what I remembered having that conversation about. So make a goal to collect all that's rightfully owed, not just what's easy to collect. So it is work to go after all those insurance claims that you send out and making sure that they're paid correctly, they're paid accurately, and they're paid timely. That's another thing. You can go after insurance companies and say, this should have been paid at this mark. A lot of insurance companies will have to end up paying you interest if they hold a claim too long. There's all sorts of things that pays off to kind of be knowledgeable about the system and do your claims processing correctly. So that's kind of the rundown of those three topics that we discussed. And here's kind of what eAssist does on those revenue cycle services. We have the dental insurance billing and aging. So this aspect of eAssist, we send out the claims with all, we review them all before they're sent. We attach any narratives, x-rays, perio charting, intraoral photos, all the things that it would need. With our billing specialists from across the country that have backgrounds in like office management, front desk. I myself did this for 8 years with eAssist, and before that I was a practice manager. I also, I started my career in the back as a dental assistant, and then I went to the front desk and worked my way up. So knowing the full ins and outs, all of our eAssist staff all across the country, highly trained, very knowledgeable in all the aspects of dental billing and revenue cycle management, understanding how to read x-rays, all of that. So we will add all of that information to the claim, submit it timely. So we submit them the next day out to the insurance companies. We also then make sure that they made it there. So we check rejection reports. We will correct any rejected claims. So sometimes payer IDs are off. Insurance address may be incorrect. Something is off, but we'll go back, fix it, then get it submitted back out very timely. And then from there, we will go in and pull any payments off of EFT, ERAs, all of that, post them accurately with a note inside the chart saying this is how much the insurance paid, this is how much was allowed, this is the deductible amount, this is how much the patient owes, and then a little note. Even if something was, so even if a code was denied, we will split that out. Then we'll submit the appeal or submit in further information as requested. And just follow that and making sure that the practices are getting 100% what's rightfully owed to them. Again, we always are keeping your patients in mind. We want to deliver peace of mind to the practices and to the patients, knowing that we're doing our best of getting everything possibly paid that we can. The other piece to this, the back end of it, is aging of insurance claims. So if claims are not paid within that first 15 to 30 days, we then will review the aging at a regular interval, like I talked about before. The importance of that is we stay on track with it. Nothing kind of slips through the cracks, making sure that we are appealing correctly. We're using the right appeal forms for the specific insurance companies. We are checking with the doctors to maybe, we sent this narrative, it's not detailed enough. We need how many sutures replaced, this, that, and the other thing. We'll work with the practices to making sure we have those thorough narratives and then resubmit for reprocessing. Since we work with so many dental practices all across the country, we have a vast understanding of kind of what the big carriers are doing, even what the smaller carriers are doing, how they kind of like their claims. You start to learn the niche of the different insurance companies and how they're working, those inner workings of that. Um, so that's kind of the dental insurance billing and aging piece. Oh, and then it moves into the patient portion, which is very closely related to dental billing. Obviously, anything that's not paid through dental insurance would then become patient portion. So we have patient billing as well, and we send out statements. So we have follow up, make sure the patients receive those statements. We audit the balances to see where the balances are coming from. And if it was like, also take a look at it, make sure that it was like billed correctly. Or a lot of times we catch that like claims were never sent to insurance, but they did have insurance. So we'll go back, get all that information together, making sure that the dental team then sends out those claims and then get the patient their correct balance after those claims process. So there's kind of a lot to that. So the auditing, we also have a patient billing line. So we direct all the calls that patients may have about their statement to our patient portion billing line. And our team will go and answer those questions for your patients. And we act as we're the office. And that takes a lot of the phone calls away from your front desk and lets them focus on making new patient appointments and getting patients scheduled, things like that. We also have e-payment links, all of those simple ways for patients to pay, and really streamlines the process for patient portion collections. Insurance verification and eligibility. This one is near and dear to my heart. Again, foundation of your practice. So important. We customize your verification forms. You can also have like just an eligibility form and a premium plus form that has specialty codes and anything you can think of. We customize them right to your practice needs. And we'll take care of that. We also do the data entry on those pieces. And make sure your insurance profiles are up to date. Fee schedule is written in there correctly, and all those percentages and things like that. So a really detailed look, customized to your practice. We make sure that you are verifying like the correct codes, your code utilization. You're not having us verify codes that you don't even use, and all of that. So that's a really important piece for your practice. And then we have our dental practice accounting and bookkeeping. This is also a really cool service that eAssist has. And we help you with bill pay, accounting, bookkeeping. We do through QuickBooks. And this kind of helps you can pay your bills out to vendors, all those kind of things. And then we have EFT and deposit reconciliation. And this one is huge, especially since the world of insurance is kind of going electronic and a lot more payments are coming via EFT. A lot of times you will get EFT payments and then you have to go search out where they came from, find the EOBs, then post them, making sure it matches. This program through eAssist, the EFT and deposit reconciliation, we alert when the money hits your bank account and then letting you know when our teams should go post it. Then we go and pull and make sure everything matches. So everything that you're being paid for, all those claims are reconciled and closed. And your bank account will match, your EFT bank payments will match your deposit slips in your practice management software. So this is a big one because EFTs sometimes are very messy. You don't know where it's coming from, or when it went in, did it go in? That's the other thing too. A lot of time you'll get the EOB from an EFT payment, but you actually didn't receive the money yet. So you might be posting before you even know you got the money. And then what if something happens with that money transfer? Like it doesn't go through. Then you're thinking you received that money and you didn't. So this one is I love the EFT and deposit reconciliation. And then we have our trusted eAssist partner, which is Full Schedule and Patient Recall. They help those busy front desk people do those recall phone calls and get your schedule full. So we kind of went over this a little bit. So insurance, dental insurance billing, our specialists on our platform, they submit clean claims, they post EOBs, and do everything in their power to get your over 90-day insurance AR to near zero. So we really want to make sure all those claims are processed. Every little code on every claim is paid as it should be. Here's our brand promises. So we want to collect 100% what's rightfully owed to your practice. We submit clean claims for payment within 1 business day. We post all payments to patient ledgers within 1 business day of receiving them. And then we follow up at least every 10 business days on all claims that hit 30 days and older and aging. And our goal is to get that insurance over 90, near zero, and keep it there. We also love to keep the transparency and communication with you as a practice owner and front office managers, front desk, anybody who would like to be involved in this communication pieces to know the health of the practice, kind of what's going on in the day-to-day work. So you get a daily report when you are with ESS that shows your production and collections, your collection ratio, which is a huge indicator of how things are going. Total outstanding claims, total outstanding insurance receivables, the total outstanding patient accounts receivables, and much more. We also put like detailed notes about appeals, if we sent how many claims over 90 we were able to get paid, all sorts of celebrations and information that will help you lead your practice to success. So I mentioned Practice Booster before because we work with them closely. And when you're an ESS client, you get the online code advisor to our clients at no additional cost. We also work with them to make sure that our insurance verification forms are up to date. We're asking the right questions for the right codes. So we're making sure we're not missing anything on those. Practice Booster has those great coding with confidence books that we spoke about earlier, administration books, amazing pieces. I actually utilized these when I was a practice manager for multi-location practice before I even knew about ESS. So, and insurance verification again. We want to make sure that you know the specific details of your patient's insurance coverage at the time of treatment planning, making sure there's no big surprises for them and that you're getting the most out of your time with them as well. So e-assist data entry insurance verification, these are our brand promises. We complete verifications with accuracy at least 4 business days before the patient's appointment. We input the coverage percentage maximums and deductibles into the practice management software for you. We input the patient's correct remaining maximums and deductibles in the practice management software. We verify that all the information on the verification form is filled out. And we also attach a PDF breakdown of this verification into the software, and which is labeled with the date. So with this service, you get an actual PDF of a verification, and then we also put it in the practice management software. We also have a non-data entry option, which is the same, except we just don't put it into the practice management software. We will give you just the PDF of that verification. And to thank you for coming today, you will get, you can scan this code here and get the complete dental billing outsourcing handbook. So this ebook will cover all the areas of outsourcing from insurance verification to dental billing and helps alleviate some concerns you may have with the process. So if you want to scan this code, you can get the ebook. And delivering peace of mind, that is ES's goal. That's our core value. This is our purpose. For you in the office, for your patients, for your front desk, we want to have you go home at night and have peace of mind that your RCM cycle is functioning as it should and you are receiving everything that's owed to you. and be able to continue practice dentistry and changing the lives of others. So
Thank you so much, Cori, for your presentation tonight. Lots of wonderful information, so thank you.
yes.
And yeah, thank you for that. And I'm sure we're going to have some questions. And we have about yeah, we have a few minutes, about 9 minutes, 8 or 9 minutes to answer the audience's questions. So please, if you haven't already, go ahead and insert them in the Q&A chat box at the bottom of your screens. I'm going to read the ones that are here so far. This one is from Emily Shackleton. What are some common codes that don't get used but should be used for regular checkups?
There there's quite a few, and depending on kind of like for the regular checkup, I'm guessing you're saying for like a cleaning. So there's like the oral health code. I'm trying to think of what the code is off the top of my head. But there's a code where it's like education, where you can show somebody how to brush better. There's quite a few. I will like put some of those together and see, but and I can get back to you on that one.
Great, thank you. And Emily, if you want to go ahead and enter your email, we can pass that along to Cori as well.
Yeah.
And this question is from Ladice Hernandez. This is a software.
So eAssist is not a software. We are actually a service company, and we utilize your practice management software and kind of just go in and do the back end work so you can spend more time with your patients. Some of our things we do are technology driven on our side that help us be efficient and kind of more accurate. But yeah, it's a service company, not a software.
Thank you. This next question is from Lynn Conrad. What's a normal, quote unquote, time period for payment of a claim from the insurance company?
Yes, on average, it would be about 15 days is what we see as an industry kind of standard. You'll see some of let's use MetLife for an example. Some of those simpler claims that go out, the cleaning and exam code claims that go out, some of those can pay within like 3 days, 2 days via EFT. So you see some of them very quick. And then you see some of them take almost a whole 30 days to process.
Great, thank you. Someone just asked if Mandy Anderson, if that information that you were going to send about the codes could be sent to them as well. Anyone who would like to receive that, go ahead and enter your email addresses in our chat box so that we can get that information to Cori.
Yeah,
And give everyone.
Yeah, I'll
Yep.
work with I'll work with Practice Booster as well to get you those information. And also they can do some great things about like looking at your code utilization and looking at kind of what you're doing and making sure that you are actually coding out everything that you could. So there might be missed revenue opportunity for you that we can help you find.
And I have a question, and maybe you already said this and I didn't catch it, but is it possible to correct a code or submit codes for previous services that were rendered and perhaps already billed? How far back can one go, and can those be added if once the dentist or the office is aware of these different codes that they could have billed, can they go and do so retroactively?
I'll have to double check on that, but I think that if it falls within the timely filing limit and it was just like an oversight that we did this treatment, but we forgot to bill it out, that can definitely be sent in as a corrected claim. to add that additional code as long as it's within that timely filing limit. Now, I don't know about going back 2 years and being like, oh, I should have put the oral health code into all these, so I'm going to go in and send that out. That would probably be a red flag to insurance companies, so I wouldn't really necessarily do something like that. But yes, you can. If you miss codes or you miss even sending out a claim, you can always go back and send it out within the timely filing.
Great, thank you. Well, oh, let's see if a couple new questions came in, actually. I think so. Let's see. These might be some email addresses. Yes. This one question is from Betty Wong. What is your cost structure for managing accounts receivable? And can we select which accounts we would like you to address?
Yeah, so we have a tiered approach for our dental billing services that include so we have like a startup practice, and it goes different tiers, and then it's a percentage of your insurance revenue that comes in from those. So we only get, that's a good thing too about ESS, we only get paid if you're actually getting paid. So if all your claims that come back as denied, we don't get paid. So we work hard to get those processed and paid for you timely. Some offices do kind of choose insurance companies that they want us to work, and then omit the others. Usually we see this with the office will say, I'll handle the Medicaid claims if you can handle the PPO or something like that. Or if there's like a troublesome insurance company that you rather just deal with in office, we can definitely customize it to that. And then we wouldn't charge, it wouldn't be included in your invoice amount for those ones that we do not work. But we would actually have to do the whole process, the claim submission, the follow-up, and the posting, because that is because we want to make sure that we are sending out clean claims and then following up on the claims that we know what we sent out, and then posting how, yeah. So hope that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you. And this question may echo what you just said. We have time for this last question, asking if you do the billing, and do you enter in the dentist's office remote every day? And this
Yeah.
is from Ladise Hernandez, a follow-up.
Yeah, so we take care of the billing to insurance companies, and also we can take care of the billing to your patients after the insurance claims have paid, and or if they don't have insurance. So anything that is patient AR, we will take care of and follow up, go through our processes, and the same with insurance billing as well. So we bill out the coding, the claims, and then send, post, follow up.
Thank you. Are you able to show Cori the QR code that was put up earlier?
Yes.
That's a question from Sandra Culp. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oops. I'm sorry.
Great. And for everyone else, this is a QR code for the free ebook, The Complete Dental Billing Outsourcing Handbook. It covers all areas of outsourcing, from insurance verification to dental billing to payments, and helps basically mitigate some of those tasks. You can scan that QR code to receive a free copy of the ebook. Well, with that, we have reached the top of the hour. It is 8 p.m. in New York, and that is all the time that we have for tonight. I want to thank you again, Cori, just for your wonderful presentation and for taking time to answer these questions. And we have all those emails that came in, so thank you to everyone who sent an email. We will be passing those along to Cori so she can send off those codes. And we did record tonight's presentation. And again, we're going to be emailing that recording out sometime over the next week. We'd also appreciate your feedback via our survey that's going to pop up on your screens shortly. So please kindly fill that out. And again, thank you. Thank you, Cori. Thank you all for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you on a future webinar.